major trade. The San Francisco Giants get Rafael Devers from the Boston Red Sox on June 15th. This is what you'd expect at the trade deadline, but these two teams didn't wait. We knew Devers wasn't happy with the situation in Boston. The Giants sorely need a middle-of-the-order hitter, and the trade has been completed. The Giants have lacked that number 3 or 4 hitter in their lineup, and they get that with Devers without giving up a lot. I mean, you have to give up something in these trades. The reason the Red Sox have agreed to do this is because the Giants are taking his entire remaining contract. What's left on his contract, a little over $250 million. You're going to overpay for everyone in baseball. That's the way it is. You don't usually get good deals when extending players or signing them in free agency. It's just a part of business. You hope you get the best out of their prime years. And the Giants have not gotten it done in free agency. They failed in free agency in acquiring the A-level players. They've gotten a lot of B-level players, but they have not gotten the A-listers, the best of the best in free agency. So they pull off this trade, and they give up Kyle Harrison, who has been a big name in the Giants farm system. He's a big-time prospect. But from what we've seen from him in the major leagues, you see the potential, but all in all, overall, he's disappointing. He's been underwhelming. He's still raw. He doesn't have very many pitches. He's primarily a 2-pitch pitcher, and that doesn't work in the big leagues. At best, I think he's a number 3 pitcher in your rotation. He's more likely a 4. There's just a big question mark with Kyle Harrison. Jordan Hicks, it didn't work. He wanted to pitch as a starter when he's been a reliever. And there was really just no place for him except for the bullpen. He wasn't going to remain a starter. He struggled last year after the hot start he had. And then this year was just nothing but a struggle for him. I mean, he's very, very talented. But maybe a change of scenery helps, and the Giants gave away some other prospects, including their first-round pick from last year. Does this trade make sense for the Red Sox? Well, I don't feel like you're getting a lot in return. This is more about getting rid of Devers, an unhappy player, and the Giants are willing to take on the full contract. It just reminds you so much of the Mookie Betts trade. I'm not saying Devers is Betts. Betts is a complete all-around hitter or player. Devers is a great middle-of-the-order hitter. That's what he is. Who wins the trade? I do feel the Giants win the trade because now you have a deeper team and you have a lineup that has finally, at last, that number 3, number 4 hitter, and it puts you closer to being on the level of the Dodgers. As you look at how star-studded the Dodgers are with Ohtani and Betts and Freeman, Giants just don't stack up with that. At least they get closer with Devers. And then they're very close in the division and the record, but you know they just have not been on the same level of the Dodgers. I mean, you even go back to the 2021 season when they met in the playoffs. The Giants actually won the division. They had a very good year, the Giants, but you knew the Giants just didn't stack up with talent to the Dodgers. Now you look at this lineup, and you have Ramos, Chapman, Adames, Devers, okay. Now there's not as much pressure on those players who, to me, are B-level players. You can put them in the second spot, more in the fourth, fifth hole. Devers is third. I wasn't a fan of the Adames deal at all. I think they overpaid for him. And he's not to give that many years to someone who's not a 3 or 4 hitter in your lineup is too much. I think he's more of a number 6 or 7 hitter on a very good team. And I know you have to get who you can get. I mean, you do have to acquire good players, but that's it. He's only a good player. He's not a great player. Devers has been a great player, multiple-time All-Star, and it's not only being that true presence in the middle of the order, it's being that left-handed bat, because we're talking about all the Giants' power hitters and best hitters are right-handed. And now you can put those players, although they're good players, not great players, you can put them more in their appropriate place where they fit in the batting order. I was more a fan of the Chapman extension over the contract they gave Adames, because with Chapman, you have as good as it gets defense at third base and a pretty good bat. Another thing, though, Devers was very unhappy with not being able to play third base because Bregman came in to Boston. Well, he's going to have to understand he's not going to play third base in San Francisco because of Matt Chapman being third baseman and the Gold Glove third baseman that he is. He's going to DH and maybe play some first base. But this is one of the biggest trades I can remember as a Giants fan. It may be the biggest trade. I mean, you had trades that went down that helped the Giants get over the top to win the World Series. 2010, Freddie Sanchez. Or when they acquired Marco Scutaro. At the time, it didn't seem like a big thing. It was. Hunter Pence. They had the Chris Bryant trade in 2021. It was a big deal then. Didn't really work out. But that was a big-time trade for the Giants. The trade in my lifetime, and I think it's fair to say the biggest trade in the history of the San Francisco Giants, was when the Giants traded for Jeff Kent. They traded away Matt Williams, and they got Jeff Kent. Kent was only a Giant for 6 years, but what a 6 years it was, including an MVP, including the World Series run in 2002. But for a proven player, this is as big as it gets. Devers, because Jeff Kent was good, he showed potential, but he wasn't an all-star player. He wasn't the Jeff Kent we knew until he came to the Giants. He had to prove himself. And that was Brian Sabean's greatest trade, and that was the greatest trade in the history of the San Francisco Giants. And Matt Williams, who is more on the decline, still good, but more on the decline, for Jeff Kent, who is a late bloomer, who is entering his prime, and the best teammate Barry Bonds ever had, was Jeff Kent. We'll see about this Devers trade. How good of a trade will this be? Can it lead to a pennant? Can it lead to a World Series? I don't know, because of the Dodgers are going to be in your way, and will the Giants make this an arms race with the Dodgers? I mean, they have the money. How serious are the Giants at competing with the Dodgers? Well, I'm impressed. This was a serious step, and they're taking on a lot of contracts here. They are putting out a lot of money with the players they have on the roster now, and we'll see who will be the good investments for them, who will be their best investments. They got their true ace in Webb, they got Robbie Ray, they have enough pitching. Now, do they have enough offense to consistently compete with a team as great as the Dodgers?